Chicago Bears are making noise again, and this time, it's not just hype or blind optimism. After 4 straight wins, they're finally starting to shake off that reputation of being an inconsistent, bottom-of-the-pack team. Sure, not all the opponents they faced in this streak were top-tier contenders, but momentum is momentum, and it's pushing Chicago up the NFL power rankings from number 16 to number 13 heading into Week 8. That may not seem like a huge leap, but for a franchise that's been stuck in the mud for years, every step forward counts. People around the league are starting to pay attention. There's a growing sense that something is actually changing in Chicago. And when you dive into the numbers, that feeling starts to make even more sense. Let's talk about Caleb Williams for a moment. Despite the noise from casual fans who just see headlines and box scores, the reality is that Caleb has grown a lot this season. Yes, he's coming off his worst game so far. And yes, he needs to bounce back against a tough Baltimore Ravens squad. But let's be real. Lamar Jackson and that Ravens defense are nothing to overlook. Chicago doesn't have the luxury of treating any game as an easy win, and that includes this one. Every single week should feel like a Super Bowl for this Bears team. That's the kind of urgency they need to play with, and it's the kind of mentality that head coach Ben Johnson has been trying to instill since day one. The energy around this team is different. We've seen Bears teams in the past look like they were heading in the right direction, only to collapse and fall apart. But this current version of the Bears is grinding out wins in a way that feels a bit more sustainable. You can see the development on the field. Darnell Wright, who had a rough start to the season, is playing better. Tariq Stevenson has strung together several strong performances, despite dealing with injuries. This isn't just about talent anymore. It's about players growing into their roles and a team finding confidence. But let's talk about one of the most surprising stats so far this season. The Chicago Bears lead the entire NFL in big plays per game. That's right, through 7 weeks. And keep in mind, they played 1 fewer game than many other teams. Chicago has produced 48 big plays. That averages out to about 8 per game. The Los Angeles Rams are right behind them with just over 7, but still, the Bears top the list. And it's not just through the air. 27 of those big plays have come on the ground, rushing gains of 10 yards or more, while 21 came from passes over 20 yards. Considering that their run game has been one of the biggest question marks this season, that stat says a lot. Still, it's fair to ask how sustainable this is. Are the Bears relying too much on explosive plays and missing the simpler, gimme opportunities that more efficient offenses capitalize on? Some pessimistic fans might say that if you can't execute the easy stuff, you're not going to win when it matters most. But the more optimistic view is that it's better to already be capable of hitting big plays and work on fixing the basics than the other way around. And honestly, both perspectives are valid, because the truth is, the Bears do leave points on the field. Missed passes, broken protections, bad penalties. Those are the things holding this offense back from being truly elite. Ben Johnson knows that. He's been harping on cleaning up the mistakes since rookie minicamp. And even with all the progress we're seeing, this Bears offense is far from polished. But there are signs that things are clicking. Over the past 2 weeks, the run game has looked significantly better. And if the Bears can build on that and bring balance to their offense, connecting the rushing attack with a more consistent passing game, they could be dangerous. The pieces are there. It's just a matter of putting it all together. Statistically, the improvement is starting to show. The Bears are currently 10th in the league in points per game. They sit at 14th in passing offense and 8th in rushing offense. That's not elite, but that's also not bottom tier anymore. And after starting the season with major questions about offensive identity and consistency, being middle of the pack in those categories is a step in the right direction. They're averaging almost 130 rushing yards per game now. Total offense? 346 yards per game. Good for 12th in the NFL. Third down conversions are hovering around 40%, which puts them at 14th. But the red zone is still a concern. The Bears are scoring on only half of their red zone trips, and that's an area where they absolutely need to improve. The goal should be closer to 70%. If they can clean up those red zone possessions, we could see this offense take a leap. But here's another stat that's worth paying attention to: sacks allowed. The Bears have given up the fewest sacks in the league. That's a massive shift from previous seasons where protecting the quarterback was a constant struggle. Caleb Williams isn't even in the top 20 in terms of most sacked quarterbacks. That's not just luck. That's improved offensive line play, smarter pocket management, and probably some better play calling too. For a team that's been hammered by quarterback injuries and pressure in the past, this is a huge sign of progress. And the Bears are protecting the football. They've only committed 5 turnovers all season, which ranks them 6th in the NFL in that category. Again, these are all building blocks. A team that protects its quarterback, avoids turnovers, and hits on big plays? That's a team with potential. That's a team trending in the right direction, even if they're not elite yet. On the defensive side, things are a bit more mixed. Chicago still has plenty of work to do. They're 25th in points allowed, 17th against the pass, and a rough 28th against the run. Total defense ranks 25th overall, giving up about 350 yards per game. But even here, there are some encouraging signs. The Bears are allowing just 30% of third downs to be converted against them. That's top tier. And despite the struggles, they're first in the league in takeaways. That opportunistic style of play is keeping them in games, even when other aspects of the defense are lagging behind. And as more players come back from injury, guys like Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards, the hope is that this defense can start to tighten things up. Because for all the yardage they've allowed, they've also made big plays when they matter. If the offense continues to trend up and the defense can just stabilize, Chicago could quietly become one of the more balanced teams in the league. And this is where the impact of coaching really starts to shine through. When you hear a player like Jaquan Brisker talk about how different the locker room feels, that's not just lip service. He's been in this organization through the tough times, through the previous coaching regime that left this team looking disconnected and uninspired. Now he's talking about how practices feel different, how the energy is different, and how players are bonding without even needing coaches present in those moments. That kind of chemistry doesn't happen by accident. It's a reflection of leadership, of trust, of belief being built brick by brick. Brisker mentioned how the team meets together without coaches to talk things through. That says a lot. It means players are taking ownership of the process. It means there's accountability between teammates. It means guys actually care. These are the seeds of culture. And for a franchise like the Chicago Bears, culture has been something they've talked about for years without really building it. Now it feels like they're doing more than talking. They're showing it. They're living it. When Brisker says the team feels more connected, more in sync between players and coaches, that's a testament to what Ben Johnson has brought. He didn't just bring a scheme. He brought a vision. And it seems like that vision is finally starting to take root. Because we've all seen what happens to talented rosters when there's no leadership. They underperform. They fight with each other. They collapse under pressure. But what we're seeing now is a team that's pulling together, even through adversity, even when key players are out, even when the schedule isn't easy. That matters. That tells you this team isn't just riding a wave of momentum. It's starting to believe in something deeper. After starting the season 0-2, a lot of people were ready to write the Bears off. And it wouldn't have been crazy to think things would spiral from there. The run game was a mess. The defense was patchy, and there were injuries to important players. It felt like just another season of frustration. But then something changed. Maybe it was that coaching staff rallying the locker room. Maybe it was younger players stepping into bigger roles. Maybe it was Caleb Williams shaking off the rookie nerves and starting to take command of the offense. Whatever it was, this team stopped folding and started fighting. That 4-game winning streak wasn't a fluke. It was a team starting to figure itself out. And even though not everything has been perfect, it's about progress. There's still a long way to go. This isn't a finished product. The Bears still need to clean up penalties. They still need to execute better in the red zone. They still need to tackle more consistently and find ways to get off the field on defense. But those are problems you can work with. Those are problems that come with being a young team that's growing. What you don't want are problems like apathy, division in the locker room, or a lack of belief. And those things aren't here anymore. There's also the added excitement of players coming back from injury, like Austin Booker, who's inching closer to returning from IR. His preseason showed a lot of promise, and even though he hasn't played a regular season snap yet, the Bears clearly believe in what he can bring. The fact that they released a productive rotational player to open up a roster spot is a pretty strong indicator that Booker is on his way back. And that could be big. Adding a young, hungry edge rusher to this defense could give them the spark they need to start applying more consistent pressure. Because right now, that's still an area where they've been up and down. And that's the thing with this Bears team. They've been managing to win games while still leaving a lot on the table. That's actually encouraging. Because once the pass rush starts hitting, once the red zone execution improves, once the penalties decrease, then we'll really start to see what this team can become. And for the first time in a long time, there's reason to think they'll actually get there. Now, of course, with the trade deadline approaching, fans are buzzing about what Ryan Poles might do. There's speculation flying around about whether the Bears will try to land another piece, especially with the cornerback room dealing with some injuries. One name that's surfaced recently is Tariq Woolen from the Seattle Seahawks. At 6'4" and 210 pounds, Woolen is a big, physical presence who could potentially fit what the Bears are building. He's only 26 years old and already has a Pro Bowl under his belt, not to mention 11 career interceptions and 40 pass breakups. He's a ball hawk, exactly the kind of player that could thrive under Dennis Allen, especially in a defense that already leads the league in takeaways. Of course, it all comes down to price. Woolen is on a manageable contract, hitting the cap at just over $5 million, and he'll be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. That means you can bring him in, see how he fits, and decide from there. No long-term commitment unless it makes sense. That's the kind of calculated move that could benefit a team looking to sneak into a wild card spot. But again, the question is, how aggressive is Ryan Poles willing to be? Because for all the progress we've seen, the Bears are still a team in transition. They're still building, still evaluating, still figuring out exactly who they are. Making a bold move like trading for Woolen would signal confidence, not just in this season, but in the foundation they're building. But it would also come at a cost. Are they ready to part with a mid-round pick for a potential short-term boost? Or do they wait, trust the guys already in the building, and continue building from within? Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling across the league after a shocking development that could reshape the Chicago Bears roster. Caleb Williams, the team's star tight end, reportedly wants out. Sources close to the matter say the move has left the Bears' locker room and fan base in a state of disbelief, with whispers of contract disputes and possible trade talks dominating sports chatter. Williams, known for his game-changing catches and reliable presence on crucial downs, has been a cornerstone of Chicago's offensive strategy. His departure, or potential departure, would not only leave a glaring gap on the field but could send shockwaves through the league as teams begin speculating which franchises might make a move to land him. Insiders hint that multiple teams are already circling, eager to add a player of Williams' caliber to their lineup. The timing of this rumored shakeup is adding fuel to the fire. With the season fast approaching, coaches and management are said to be scrambling to adjust, while fans are left debating whether this is a calculated strategy by Williams' camp or a sign of deeper unrest within the organization. Social media has erupted, with hashtags trending and fan forums buzzing with theories, from contract dissatisfaction to ambitions of chasing a championship elsewhere. Analysts are divided. Some suggest the Bears could leverage this situation to secure multiple high-value draft picks, while others fear losing Williams might derail the team's offensive plans for the foreseeable future. The speculation has already sparked debates on sports networks, with pundits weighing in on which team stands to gain the most and how this could rewrite the balance of power in the league. For now, the Bears organization has remained tight-lipped, neither confirming nor denying the rumors, leaving the sports world on edge. One thing is certain. If Caleb Williams does indeed leave, the ripple effects will be felt far beyond Chicago, and the next few weeks could prove to be some of the most dramatic in recent NFL history. Fans and insiders alike are holding their breath, waiting for the next move in what might become the story of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.